Hey, this is Sam Cannonier from Millionaire Intentions, and I hope you had an amazing 2017. A way to really measure how great your year was or how many challenges that you had to overcome is to really measure it out. So what I like to do is create a whiteboard session to really focus on a recap of your year. And what I did was create a list of things that I felt was important for myself, and I like to believe it's important to you, such as your health, your relationships, your career, or if you're an entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, your learning, what did you learn this year, the development, the things that you executed on, your enjoyment, and then spirituality. And for this exercise, I'm actually going to do it for myself, so you really get an understanding of what I'm talking about. So my health, I actually this year lost about 10 pounds, and I can be happy about that, but I have to be honest with myself. There's times where I did great for 5-6 days, but on a weekend, Saturday night, I overindulged in things I shouldn't have done. And I started exercising, I started going hard the last quarter of this year, but I imagine what would I look like if I did it for the entire year. So if I had to grade myself just on what I did on the health, I probably would say, I'd say a 7. My relationships, what I'm speaking with, for me personally, is my wife, my child, I have family. And this is an area where I'm not happy. I'm hoping going to 2018 be something that I'll do better in. So it was times where I really did those things, but I don't know if we have a focus 5, let me bring that to the table. So I judge my recaps of the year based on the focus 5. Was that consistent? Did I improve upon from one last year, from 16 to 17? My goals, the goals that I established for myself, my setbacks, things that I didn't control, or I didn't have ability to control some of the things that was going on, and then challenges. So going back to it, going back to health, I rated myself a 7 because I could have been more consistent. I improved because I did lose 10 pounds, and that was one of my goals. That I had some setbacks. Those are some of the things I really self-inflicted, whether that's Thanksgiving season or going to the movies, getting a large popcorn, candy, etc. And those are just some of my challenges. So my relationship is the thing that I really want to focus on, even 2018, because I was there for my daughter, and I was and my wife. We have a great relationship, but there's always room for improvement. And I wish I was more consistent in just being engaged 100% of the times. One thing I'm really trying to take this off the ground, and I was focusing on certain areas, but for me, probably nothing's more important than the relationship. So that's an area where if I had to judge myself, I need to be more consistent. Did I improve? I don't know if I improved from last year to this year. I probably regressed a little bit, just to be honest with you. We hit some of our goals? Yes, our goal was to raise a healthy daughter, so I think we did that. Setbacks, it was definitely a setback for us because our first daughter, it was a challenge for us, and that's something that you can read all the books you can want, you can get all the wise counsel you have, nothing compares to when you have your own child. So those are some of the challenges we had personally. So my relationship aspects, I honestly feel like maybe a 6. And I want you to, when you get opportunity, do this for yourself. And really, it's not for me, it's really for you. I'm just kind of exposing myself so you can get an idea. But this is something I want you really want to do at home. Now, career entrepreneurship. So in my career, 2017 has been a really good year for me. I will receive accolades from, I received Circle of Excellence, a market award, also received a promotion for my job. And then entrepreneurship is just beginning phases of developing a course and the things that I would just love to do, getting more involved in the community, teaching kids, going over with different organizations. So I definitely made strides. So every Monday I post a Money Monday, so I've been pretty consistent on that. I really didn't have a projection that I improved from 16 to 17 because this is my first year really getting going. I hit some of my goals. One goal that I didn't reach, I wanted to have the book. I'm writing a book. I didn't have that completely done. I had some minor setbacks throughout the process. And I definitely had some challenges because I'm trying to figure these things out. But overall, I think my career slash entrepreneurship, I would give myself a solid 8. Learning. One of the things I wanted to do was read at least 2 books a month, and I killed that. I've read almost 50 books for this year, and I definitely, all the information, all the things I consume is really helping myself out, not just individually and my family and the people I communicate daily, but it kind of widened my scope in life and gave me a better perspective. So this is definitely something, probably of all of the things on this list. And I also gone to some classes, some seminars, and I definitely felt like it was one of the best things out of this list that I've done real well with. So, but it's still not perfect. I don't think I was perfect in any of these lanes. So I would say learning compared to my goals, I was, relatively speaking, I give myself a 9. Development is different from learning because you can learn, you can read books, but are you applying any of the things that you learn? Some of your development could be from lessons that you learned. Some may say L's or losses. I don't really believe in losses. I believe in lessons. Things that you learned from previously, did you learn from that and did you develop to be a better individual? I'll go more in depth into the things that I had setbacks and issues in my life. But I definitely develop as an individual. I have, as I mentioned previously, I have a wider perspective on life, and I'm pushing myself. I'm going to look back at this video maybe 5-10 years from now and just look at my development, but I'm applying myself. I am pushing through. So I felt like I've developed. I developed in my career at work too. I'm pushing myself, went into a new position. I'm learning so much as well. So what about you? Are you developing as an individual? Are you growing? Are you at the same spot? You could be grinding and working hard, but if you're doing the same things day in, day out, you're really not developing. So are you developing? So for myself, I would give myself a good 8 on this. Enjoyment. What I mean by enjoyment is, did you do something fun that you just enjoy doing? Does that mean, did you go on a vacation? Did you just go on a great trip? Or even on a lower level, did you hike, or did you get on your bike? Or what are you passionate about? What are the things that you enjoy? And for myself personally, enjoyment, we typically go on a vacation, a nice vacation every year. We didn't get the opportunity to go on a nice vacation. One of that is because, going back to relationships, we have a young daughter, and it takes a lot of effort into really growing her, and had a lot of sleepless nights on the relationship aspects, and that kind of took some of the enjoyment out of certain things. Or on top of that, it's an opportunity cost. So I kid you not, developing and learning, we all have 24 hours in a day. So I may have sacrificed some enjoyment today to develop learning and development. But my goal is that all the things that I increase and sacrifice from enjoyment in 2017, maybe 2018, I have the opportunity to do more enjoyment things, go on better trips. I was going on trips every year, but what if I have the ability, because I develop and I learn so much, that I'm able to go on better trips, more expensive trips, or not just expensive, but more exotic, because I may learn of different things that I could have been doing with my time. So going back to my goals and improvement from 2016, I would say my enjoyment level in doing the things I like to do, like exercising, going to the gym, playing basketball, whatever I was doing on a day-to-day basis, my enjoyment level was at a 6. And then the last one, it may not be important to you, but it's definitely on my list. I call it spirituality, is because I truly believe that that God has definitely pushed me and had plans for my life, and my goal was to have a strong relationship with God, with the Creator. And I felt like where I was last year and going this year, where I consistent every day. I didn't do all the things I really wanted to do on that aspect, and that I improved. I don't know if I improved from 16 to 17, Did I have some goals? Yeah, I did have some goals, and I was able to hit some of those. Did I have some setbacks and challenges? And it kind of go hand in hand with some of the other things on my list. The spirituality of things, I probably regress from maybe last year. I probably felt I was probably like an 8, and this year I was probably 6/7. So I'll round up and just say 7 just for this course. But ultimately, I thought like my health was a 7 because, and think about it, it's probably a 7/8 because I've made some strides the last quarter. But going forward to 2018, I want to be as consistent, working out 4 or 5 times a week, eating healthier, eliminating some of the sweets out of my life. With my relationship, probably, let me grab another pen. Relationship is anything lower than a 7 is an area where I really want to focus for 2018 to do better. My relationship with my wife, my growing a daughter, my parents, the people that I'm so close with, I want to be better. It's people that really depend on me, and I may have let people down, or it may not be what I wanted it to be. So the average person might say, Sam, you're doing a good job. You're a loving husband. I see you, how you look at your daughter, but my expectations may be different than, and my goals may be different than what the world may think. So that's an area that I want to improve on. Career entrepreneurship, I would love to get this to an 8, 9, 10. I mean a 9, 10, but I can still things I can do with my job, increasing my learning a new skill set, entrepreneurship, just getting off the ground and taking it to the next level, learning. They said that the average CEO reads 60 books, and I think I capped off at 49. Hopefully I get to 50 by the end of this year. But maybe can I squeeze out to 60? That's like, I rather focus my energy on areas where I was weaker than some area where I deem I was a 9, if that makes sense. Development. This may be, even though it's a strong point, I'm nowhere near where I need to be. Like I said, 4 or 5 years from now, I may look back at this and say, man, this was terrible. But this is for where I'm coming from, because everything is relative. I would still want to make good strides on these and not improve on areas where I dramatically need to increase without dropping off the areas where I'm high at. Relatively speaking, enjoyment was another low area for me. I do have enjoyment doing stuff like this, so I don't get it twisted, but I want to make sure I find a lane where it makes sense for what I love to do. I love going to the gym. I have to make sure that I carve time out, and I've done a better job the last quarter of 2017, and hope in next year I expect this number to jump up dramatically. And also get back on, we have already on the dockets, because we're going to be much more intentional. We already have multiple trips and to catch up from the ones we missed out on 17. And then spirituality, that was still a relatively low one for me. And that's something that I have to have a stronger commitment to, and something that I'm working on as we speak. And make sure on a daily time, we have to have, and when I say spirituality, it's beyond just, I go to church. It's like, do I have gratitude for just waking up? Because just getting out of bed and putting my feet on the ground, that has given me the opportunity to be better in all these other areas. So do I have gratitude for what I have? Do I have, am I thoughtful? One of the things, when we talk about spirituality, one of the goals I have for myself is that every day that I do something nice for somebody, that I went out my way and did something that was nice. So that's something that I'm going to continue to making sure I focus on and just keep pushing through. So this is kind of a recap of 2017. You can say you had a terrible, and that's the thing when I ask most people, how was their year? Most people say, I had a rough year, I had it tough. But then you go and we have these type of conversations, and they probably had a better year than they thought they would. But then on the other end, some people feel like, man, I just killed it. I did everything I wanted to, but then we had these conversations, and the average person, they may think, yeah, this person is doing great, but based on their goals from what they want to do, they might feel like they dropped the ball. So this is for you. This is for you from your perspective, not for me or the next individual. What you thought you were going to do 2017 compared to the results. Because what's the purpose of getting these nice binders and guides and affirmations and whatever we want to do? We have all these great ways of writing down our goals, because and I don't believe in resolutions. The thing is, a resolution is like a confession. Oh, I have a resolution to lose weight. Well, that's like, oh, I have a confession to lose weight. What are you doing to improve your health? Or what are you doing to improve your relationship? Like, having this is you really measuring yourself. If you're not measuring what you're doing, then it's a waste of time. So I want you to, before this year is up, if you have the ability to write this down, create your own whiteboard session, do it. If you need somebody to hold you accountable, hit me back and I'll make sure that we will look at it and see what we could do to encourage you to keep pushing forward. Or you have an accountability partner, maybe your spouse or maybe your friend that will go over your list and will push you on for next year. But I just kind of want to do a whiteboard session and I kind of wanted just to be personal and transparent to you of the things that I'm working on going forward before I even hit my goals. This is not even my goal for 2018. This was just, how do I measure myself based on the results of this year? And I want you to do the same thing today. All right, thanks.